We greet you this week from the city of Pasadena, California. The Rose Bowl, located in an area that was once dominated by an unruly barranca, it is now an area of recreation for the city and the location of one of the most famous sports arenas in the world. It is the home of the top-ranked UCLA Bruins, who today will meet the Washington State Cougars in Pac-10 conference action. The Bruins are 4-0 in the Pac-10 standings. USC, the other unbeaten. Washington State 1-3 in the Pac-10, 4-3 overall, so all of their losses have been in the conference. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson along with Bob Greasy. Happily, I got to drive to work again this week. Bob gets to fly another 9 hours, but he's young. He can handle it.
All right. Ball is completing 71% of his passes from a spread formation, utilizing 3 wide receivers and 1 running back. 500 yards in total offense, 38 points per game they're averaging. For UCLA and Troy Aikman, as we see UCLA coming onto the field. But Troy Aikman is averaging 40 points a game for the UCLA offense, and 5 times this year he's thrown for 3 or more touchdowns in a ball game.
All right, if you compare these two teams just offensively, and that's all, they come off relatively even. But there is one area of the game where UCLA has a most decisive edge, and that's on the defensive side of the ball.
UCLA defensively is #1 in the Pac-10 in scoring defense. Washington State is last, dead last, and therein is the problem. For the Cougars to win today, Rosenball is going to have to keep his offense on the field and protect his defense. UCLA just needs to protect Troy Aikman and give him some time.
I think that's right. When you have a ball game in the Rose Bowl, it's almost like a festival. That's part of the way of life when you have the kind of climate you do around this part of the country. In a very pretty setting. And the folks come early because it's kind of a hard place to get in and out of, especially when you've got the big crowd. And so they come armed with picnic baskets, crystal, a little vino, flowers, babies, tents, motorhomes. The point of the whole thing is to make a day of it and enjoy it. And they know how to do it around the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The Cougars and the Bruins coming up. The series record between two teams, decided edge for UCLA. Bruins won big in '86. 1958 was the last time that Washington State won a game down here. And would you believe I did that game? Woo. Now here's Mike Adamle.
Keith, I was in the Washington State locker room before the game. Coach Dennis Erickson said to his defense, hey, UCLA is going to get the yardage. They're going to get their points. Don't let it phase you. Play aggressively. Play discipline. Turn it loose. We've come a long way as a football team. Today can be another big step.
Kirk Maggio will kick off.
All right, Mike, thank you. And Washington State won the toss, and they want the ball, so they will receive it to start the ball game with Victor Wood, 13, and Ed Kingstad, number 11, deep. They are without Steve Broussard, their top running back. He is home with a sprained ankle. Kirk Maggio will kick it off for the UCLA Bruins. Beautiful day. It was expected to be cool and rainy-like, but it's turned out to be a lovely day in Southern California. And the game is on. High, long kickoff by Maggio. Oh, my gosh, don't bring it out of there. I thought for a minute he was going to come 6 yards deep out of the end zone. That'll stop your heart.
Yes, sir.
Dennis Erickson, second year at Washington State. You notice that Wyoming is having huge success this year. Well, he came over from Wyoming, and a lot of the young people that are playing at Wyoming with their unbeaten team were brought there by Dennis Erickson. From the 20 then, Washington State will go to work. Tim Rosenball, and they work out of a single back offense. Rich Swinton, who grew up in Canoga Park in the San Fernando Valley, is the lone remaining back. They have trips to the bottom of the screen, and they run it with Swinton, who had 193 yards last week against Arizona State, and he picked up 7 on that carry. So this is the way the Cougars line up offensively. Rosenball, the quarterback, Stallworth, and Wood with Wimberly wideouts. Pelham plays a lot out there, too. Here are the big people that make this offense go. Wellsat, Husby, Mahojic, Takama, Utley, and Dyko.
Second and 3.
Pretty good offensive front. Second down and 3 now for Washington State. And here's your first move by the quarterback. Pass is dropped down in the middle, caught by the tight end, well sent, and Washington State has a first down at midfield. These are the people who have to defend this wide-open Washington State offense now for UCLA, and they're good ones. Lodish, Waller, and Mayer are the down people up front, with Lake, Johnson, Davis, and Smith. That's about as good a core of linebackers as you're going to find. Henley, Turner, Darby, and Turner. That's Eric and Marcus. That is an outstanding defensive secondary. They really run to the ball. Rosenball throws again. Pass is caught by Stallworth. And Stallworth, the 5'11", 170-pound junior from Pacoima, California. Stallworth and Swinton both went to high school in Montclair Pep in the Van Nuys area, so they are literally playing at home today.
Play action holds the linebackers. Stallworth just looks to the inside. The first 3 plays, 3 different formations for the Cougars. The first play was 4 wide receivers and no tight ends. The second play, 2 tight ends and only 2 wide receivers, moving it around.
They've got a first down at the UCLA 32-yard line. They're moving the ball, and a whistle stops them. Dennis Erickson, the Cougar coach, told me yesterday in the first offensive series that he wanted to do some things. We'll check the signal here, and it may be in a procedure call against the Cougars. That's motion. That's what it is. So this is what Dennis Erickson had to say about the first or early possession for his ball club. What do you want to do?
What we're going to try to do on offense, Keith, is we're going to try to get in about 5 or 6 different formations, try to see how they're going to defense those formations, do some different things out of it. We may even run out of those formations. We run a lot of motion, so we'll get in those formations and run motion and see exactly how they're going to adjust to certain things on defense.
All right, they take the 5-yard penalty, back him up to 1st and 15, and Rosenball throws very quickly. He's always looking for the hot receiver. That time it was William Pelham out of Palm Springs, only 160 pounds, but when you're playing this kind of an offense, you have got to have quick people.
Down to the 26-yard line.
The 3 wide receivers are at the top. There's no backs in the backfield. They're just going to run a little bit of a slant, and it spreads the UCLA defense. A lot of gaps, a lot of seams, quick passing, and it's complete.
2nd and 4.
2nd down and 4. Give the ball to Swinton, and Swinton is brought down by Chance Johnson, the inside linebacker. Chance Johnson, who's one of the leading tacklers for the UCLA Bruins, and I think one of the underrated linebackers in the country.
They played last year alongside of Ken Norton, the All-American inside linebacker, and Johnson this year is leading the team in tackles and is really one of the leaders on that defensive team for UCLA.
It is 3rd down and about 5, a loss on that previous play, and they send Kingstad in motion now. Rosenball, a little quick pop, and the pass is incomplete to Stallworth. Stallworth was uncovered on the play, and he just stood up and popped the ball right to him, and he didn't get it to him, and it brings up a 4th down. So the Cougars, after moving the ball well, are stalled here. One on the drop by, or literally a bad pass by Rosenball, a little too quick, and the run by Swinton, in which he was brought down by Chance Johnson. This is Jason Henson, a freshman from Spokane now, out of the hold of Rob Myers, going for a 43, 44-yard field goal, and again, penalty flags on the whistle stop them before they can go.
Well, UCLA jumped. This may be a first down if they were not drawn off.
It looks like it's against Washington State. Again, the Cougars are dinged for a motion penalty. Well, they're mistaking themselves out of this possession. Larry Thompson is the referee, Mel Chappell the umpire, Robert Beal the head linesman, Charles McFerrin the line judge, Ed Hochuli is the field judge, Mark Gilchrist the side judge, and James Fogelfantz is your back judge. They're going to still go for the field goal from 48 yards now. 48. Wind is not a factor. Got enough leg on it. Oh, he split it. So, Jason Henson shows a leg. The freshman hits one from 48 yards. That is his longest ever. And now Coach Terry Donahue. His team is ranked 1st in the nation, first time in his 13 years at Westwood. and he frankly admits that he likes it. But he looked like he was walking on eggshells all week. Brian Brown, back healthy, joins Sean Wills. We've got two tailbacks now, deep for UCLA, and Brown is quite an addition to that offensive arsenal. Jason Hansen will kick it off for Washington State. The Cougars leading off their first possession on a 48-yard field goal, 3-0. It's a very, very high kick and taken up around the 13-yard line by Sean Wills, and he comes blasting out across the 30. 31-yard line for UCLA, their first possession. Turn around and give it to the tailback. It's Eric Ball, and Ball will have a couple of yards as he tries to slide off the right side. Offensively for UCLA, Aikman obviously your quarterback. Estwick is beginning to really show his colors as a good fullback. Ball will be alternating some today with Brown and Wills. Mike Farr, one of the wideouts, and he's the leading pass catcher. Randy Austin, a bit of a surprise starter at tight end, but Corey Anthony has a sore ankle. On second down and 8, Aikman drops back to throw and goes underneath to the tailback, Eric Ball, and Eric is out to the 45-yard line, and he has a first down. Here's where the Washington State Cougars have had their trouble with their defensive people. 4 down, Gray, Ledbetter, Savage, and Cook. They've been dinged a lot in the defensive unit, and particularly among the linebacking corps. And today the backers are Metcalf, Rice, and O'Neill. The defensive secondary, Landrum, Lee, Holmes, and Vernon Todd. First down for the Bruins at their own 45. UCLA 7-0 on the season, and option now with Aikman delivering back to Ball, and Ball is hit in the backfield first by number 42, shooting through. Ron Lee slowed him down, and then the weak side backer O'Neill got him.
Look at the UCLA offense and how they're doing in the Pac-10. As we mentioned, #1 in scoring and very, very good ratings in all the other offensive categories. Washington, on the other hand, defensively is not that good, as we mentioned in the opening.
That's Washington State.
Washington State.
Your mailman will have a load. Better look out. On second down, Aikman back, good protection again, goes underneath with it, and it's the tight end Randy Austin handling the ball, and the big sophomore from Canyon Country is going to have a first down for the UCLA Bruins. Harry Donahue told us earlier this week how he planned to go after the Cougars early on in the ball game.
We need our offense to stay on that field and keep their offense on the sideline so that our defense doesn't become too strained and stressed. We need to play our style of offensive football, have some time-consuming drives, try to rush the ball and be balanced in our approach. And defensively, what we need to do is we need to get a fence around that offense. We need to make sure that we don't give them cheap plays. We can't beat ourselves. We need Washington State to line up and beat us. And if they do, then they do.
And you saw the pass bounce off the chest of the tight end, Austin.
And Keith, there is some pressure on a Terry Donahue or his offensive team when you know that the other team is going to score a lot of points. Aikman and Donahue and the UCLA offense knows that they've got to put some points up on the board.
There's movement, and there is contact.
Good ball. Ball start against the offense. Still second
Meyer
down.
is struggling with a groin pull. West Virginia now starting to open it up against Penn State. It's 3-0 here in the first quarter with 10:09 to go. Washington State leading. Kennedy moves UCLA back now to their 49, to the Washington State 49. They've got to go to the Cougar 34 for the first. They're going to call it.
Keith, let's take a look defensively at something that Washington State does very well. This is Ivan Cook. He leads the Pac-10 in quarterback sacks. He's going against Jacobson, who is filling in for the injured Rick Meyer. Just gets around him with an arm over. Aikman pulls it down once too many, and this has been a problem for Aikman this year. Been taking a lot of hits after he throws the football.
Incomplete. Defending Sean Landrum for the Cougars.
Down for UCLA. Minutes and 32 seconds. First quarter. And I guess the mic is fading in and out. I'm going to have another one. So
Kirk Maggio in punt formation for the Bruins. Victor Wood deep to receive for the Cougars.
The 5 at their own 4-yard line by Harold Parquet.
David Keating down to all off.
Washington State is taking over on their own 4 or 5 yard line. We're having a problem with our mics up here. We'll get it straightened away in just a second.
Rich Swinton, the ball carrier.
Chance Johnson made the tackle for UCLA, and we've got a mess with our audio system. I guess it blew up on us. The ball is out near the 8-yard line. Pick up of about 3 yards, make it 2nd down and 7 now for Washington State. Little play action, opens it up for Rosenball. He's got room to run for the first down, and he's out of bounds up around the 21-yard line. He's a big guy, weighs about 209 or 10 pounds, and he is not reluctant about pulling it down and taking off.
He is mobile. Take a look at the rankings for Washington State offensively and defensively. On the left side, the numbers for their offense. Pretty good. For their defense, number 10 is last in the 3 of the 4 categories. That's why the offense needs to stay on the field.
From the 21, Rosenball gives it on that little draw play up the middle, and Rich Swinton pops it out to around the 27-yard line before Chance Johnson can bring him down.
Johnson was a defensive back in high school and wanted to come to UCLA and wanted to wear a single-digit number. Kenny Easley's number 7, who was an All-American at UCLA, was the only number available. And even though they moved Chance to linebacker, he says, I want the number.
2nd down and 4. That's a checkoff. Changing the play, but hurry up.
They're in a blitz mode. They're up there blitzing, and they took too much time.
Yeah, he looked up there and saw those Bruins. I mean, there were about 5 of them with their ears laid back. And he had to change his play, and he just simply burned the clock.
UCLA had shown a blitz, Keith. They brought all 11 men up near the line of scrimmage. Rosenball saw it, just didn't get it out quickly enough.
Now it's 2nd down and 9. Passes away to the sidelines. Pass is going to be caught over there, and the receiver knocked out of bounds. Right around the 31, he may have a first down. It's William Pelham making the catch. 7:48 to go in the first quarter. Rosenball is now 4 of 5, 61 yards, 3 of those for first downs passing, and 1 of them running for a first down. Indiana trying to stay alive in the Big Ten, out to a 7-0 lead over Iowa, and that ball game is in Bloomington. Bakema over the ball. 265-pound senior from Oak Harbor, Washington. Gives it to Rosenball. Rosenball turns around and hands it to Swinton. And Swinton is up across the 35 to the 36. And that offensive front, Bob, gets pretty good surge.
Yes, they do, and that's one of the strengths of the team is the offensive line. 4 of the 5 starters are 5th-year seniors. And Dennis Erickson was telling us yesterday what they like to do is just take 4 or 5 good offensive running plays and stick with them with our passing game. They do a counter, a draw play, not a lot of running plays, but they do it very effectively.
From the 36 on 2nd down, Rosenball swings it out. Swinton's got it, gets a crack, gets a first down as he reaches the 43, 44-yard line. So spreading everybody out. And those quick little drop passes. He made a comment that he had to make sure he had some zip on the ball today whenever he throws it, because you can't hang it out there with the team speed UCLA shows you on defense.
That was as good as a running play right there, where he just dumps it out to Swinton.
Gain of 8 on the play.
Washington State averaging about 9 yards per play right now, and Paul Carr checks into the backfield at the tailback position. Rosenball drops to throw it. Got pretty good protection. Now he's got a problem. Slips away and makes something out of nothing. Picks up about 2.5, 3 yards on the play. Here's what Tim Rosenball told me last night in talking with him about the spread offense and spreading the defense.
Yeah, I think when you have a defense spread out with wide receivers on opposite sides of the field and get things way apart, it's easier to see things. A lot of times, you have to read the coverage, and in our case, we have 4 or 5 guys running vertically on a seam at the same time, and you have to look in the right spot at the right time.
Now Ed Tingstad is into the backfield. He goes in motion. Rosenball going to get hit. Drops the football. UCLA recovers it at the Washington State 39. Carnell Lake hit him. Chance Johnson recovered it.
Well, anytime you have a blitz, there's no man in the middle of the field. The weak safety came up here. Now here's Lake. He's going to blitz from the outside, but Rosenball needs to see this type of thing. The linebackers blitz. Nobody picks up Lake, and you've got to know in a spread situation who you can block and who you can't, because that's the first thing the defense will test. Can you pick up the blitz?
They put him on the 40, where it's first down for the Bruins. Washington State 40, and give it to Eric Ball. And a penalty flag goes down as Ball gets down close to the 35 on the carry. They're going to give him the 36, and let's see about the penalty flag. Penalty is against UCLA holding. Interesting, too, for you Bruin followers. And bad news for the opposition. Charles Arbuckle is out there, so he's back in playing condition. Arbuckle leaves the game now, and David Keating checks in. Keating is one of those traffic receivers. Tough guy. Ball now just on the UCLA side of midfield after that holding penalty. And Aikman back, looks up the middle, takes off. He can run. And he's inside the 35. To the 34. A good gain by Troy Aikman as the center of the field opened up for him, and here's Bob Greasy to tell you why it opened up.
One of the things that Washington State tries to do with their defense is loop their linemen. They twist. See the outside man. Cook goes to the inside. Savage comes to the outside. And when you do that, there creates some holes up the middle. The linebackers need to be there to make the tackles, and that time they work.
That's the longest Aikman run of the year, and Estwick, the fullback, picked up the outside man and made that play work. This is Eric Ball. Ball just about the line of scrimmage, and that's all he's going to get. So it's going to bring up third down and about 4. Going to bring up third down and 5. Ball is right on the 35.
Randy Gray, number 96, has had a problem with a lower leg injury. He's got a stress fracture. They're giving him some problems. They don't know how long he can play today. He's got an air cast on his lower leg that he's playing with, but said he wanted to give it a try.
Double wide, bottom of the picture for the Bruins as Aikman drops straight back. Good protection, goes underneath, gets his first down. Pass caught, good to the 27. And it's Reggie Moore, the sophomore from Houston. He's the man who scored that winning touchdown in the Washington game. You got a Cougar hurt on the play. Sean Landrum was the Cougar shaken up, number 18. You can see he's walking around, had his bell rung for a moment, out of the ball game. Roosevelt Noble replaces him in the secondary. UCLA has a first down at the Washington State 26. And Aikman gives it to Eric Ball, and Ball breaks it down close to the 20. Make it the 21. Comments of Troy Aikman and how he wanted to run the attack early on.
Well, we're going to try to mix things up on them. We've got to try to do a better job establishing our running game, more so than what we did last week. We never really got our running game on track, and we've got to do that, number one, and then mix in some passes and the medium range downfield and to the backs underneath, and just a real well-balanced attack, and we feel that we'll be most successful doing that.
Cougars almost got caught in the neutral zone, but Aikman with a long count. The guy gets back and give it a ball again. Eric carried the ball 11 times last week at Arizona. Only gained 10 yards, and so he's got a little proving to do this week to himself. And time called by the officials now. It looks like they might want the chain here with 3:15 to go first quarter. That Washington State field goal giving the Cougars a 3-0 lead, the first time any UCLA opponent has scored first this year. So kind of a new adventure for the Bruins at this point.
And it's only the second time that UCLA has been behind all year. The other time was up at Washington, and they weren't behind for very long. They went down and scored in about 2.5 minutes and got back in front.
It's a better part of a yard short. Landrum is back in now, number 18 for Washington State, so he's all right. And it'll be third down and almost a full yard. Ball is the tailback. Aikman just gets in behind big Frank Cornish. And the surge, good for the first down. Very close to the 15-yard line. So far, with 2:45 to go, they haven't put points on the board, but they're threatening now. First down, just short of the 15. Aikman back, good protection into the end zone. No. Pass intended for Reggie Moore. Defending on the play, Artie Holmes.
With a nice play by Holmes, getting over just to break it up. The receiver is open to the top right of your screen. Holmes, number 19, just gets there in time. The corner on that side had rotated to try and jam the receiver. And Holmes gets over and plays his responsibility just in the nick of time.
Brendan McCracken's in there, number 12 now at a wideout. Second and 10. Aikman gives it the ball, and ball is lassoed at about the 14 by Mark Ledbetter, a junior out of Tacoma. Penn State finally scoring, and so did Iowa with a field goal in the first quarter in a very big ball game in the Big Ten. LaBelle Edwards Cougars starting to come on now toward the end of the season. It'll be third down and 8. Ball is on the 14 of Washington State. And Troy Aikman back to throw. Shoots it. Fired a bullet. Penalty flag comes flying in. The catch made down at the 9-yard line by Randy Austin. Now let's watch the man in the white hat, Larry Thompson. Randy Austin went downfield and took a whack at somebody.
Pushed off. He pushed off. Here's Austin right here, the tight end. Watch the linebacker here. Is he going to go down and have a collision? And watch as the tight end runs into Austin, runs into the linebacker, shoves him right there. That's a textbook offensive pass interference right there. Knock the man out of the way and break to the outside.
Also carries with it loss of down. So the football comes back to the Washington State 29. It is fourth down, and Alfredo Velasco is into the ball game. He's going to try one, and he'll kick it out of Kirk Maggio's hole, and it'll be 47 yards. Hanson hit a 48-yarder in the first possession for Washington State. Now it's Velasco's turn to answer. And it just got over. Just squeezed it over. At 1:32 to go in the first quarter, and we're tied at 3. All right, UCLA with a 47-yard field goal by Alfredo Velasco ties Washington State at 3-3 with 1 minute and 32 seconds to go in the first quarter. Kurt Maggio will kick it off. It'll be Victor Wood and Ed Tingstad, the deep people, for Washington State. Last time Kurt kicked it, he kicked it about 6-8 yards deep into the end zone. The two quarterbacks, we figured they'd be the dominant personalities, and so far they have been. This time Maggio hits a line drive that's going to go in and out of the end zone, and it'll come back to the 20. Now here's the play, I think, that got Terry's ire aroused, because
right there, top left, right there, you see the collision. Now the rule is, they can rule that offensive pass interference. As you see Terry Donahue not too happy with it. The rule is the offensive man has to avoid the defensive man if he has position. Obviously that time the tight end collided with the linebacker. He would have to run around him because the defensive man has position.
And he was aroused, wasn't he? There's that little draw play, popped off quick to Swinton. Single back for the Cougars. And Rich Swinton gets out to the 24, where he picks up 4 yards on the carry. Rosenball has accounted for 80 of Washington State's 105 yards in total offense. Troy Aikman of UCLA has accounted for 55 of UCLA's 66 yards. It is 2nd down and 6 for the Cougars. A 3-3 tie. That's the 3rd time they have been flagged for that. Now, I don't know what in the world's going on, but they can't keep fiddling around doing that all day and stay in this ball game. Here's Mike Adams.
Keith, the player that you see with the shoulder wrap on right now is their cornerback, Washington State's cornerback, Sean Landrum. He didn't get dinged on that play. He actually bruised his shoulder, and looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the game. That's number 18, Sean Landrum, the Cougar cornerback.
Yeah, they've had their problems keeping people healthy and getting good play in that defensive secondary. Right now, it's a 3-3 ball game. And on 2nd down, pass is thrown behind the intended receiver, Victor Wood. Rosenball didn't get him up in time, and Randy Beverly, who plays the corner on the boundary side, had a shot at it.
So look at the penalties in the ball game so far. Coming into the ball game, Washington State was the most penalized team in the Pac-10. So along with playing poor defense, they also stopped themselves a lot with penalties.
Ball having come back to the original line of scrimmage, where it is 3rd down and 10. Well, he's checking off, and he better hurry up because he's going to run out of time again. Rosenball's pass is caught by Stallworth, but he steps out at the 29, and that's short of the 1st down. So it'll bring up 4th, and in comes the punting team. And here goes Darrell Henley, the most dangerous of the dangerous when it comes to this particular play. Remember, he broke one in the Nebraska game.
Right, and he had one other one. He's returned 2 punts for touchdowns already.
All right, Rob Myers will punt. Henley standing back. Inside is 35. It's a good hanger, sort of a knuckleball, and forces Henley that time to make a fair catch at the 39. I'll tell you what, if you're going to control Henley, that's probably as good a thing as you do is kick it as high as you can and make him fair catch it with good coverage. On 1st down, the ball is given away to Brian Brown in at the tailback position, and Brown will pick up a couple of yards. 2nd down and 8. You're at the Rose Bowl, a 3-3 tie, and the clock winding down, and they're going to let it die at the end of the first quarter. So after the first 15 minutes between these two potent offensive teams, it is a 3-3 tie. So here in Pasadena, California, the Rose Bowl. We've got a 3-3 tie after 1 quarter of play. Washington State, UCLA. Farr and Keating wide outs with Estrick and Ball. No, it's Brown lined up behind Troy Aikman. Ryan Brown. Very good pass receiver. He's out protecting Aikman. Troy pulls it down and takes off for the 2nd time in the ball game. And he picks up the first down for UCLA as he gets it over on the Cougar side of the field.
Let's take a look at the first quarter stats. The total number of plays for each team was dead even. Total yardage for Washington State was 114 to 67. Of course, Washington State had the 1 turnover, the fumble, and the penalties in the first quarter, 7.
And it's first down for the Washington State 47-yard line. Estrick almost took off too soon. They pitch it back to Brown, and Brown, good move as Cougar had his sights on him, but he just spun right around him and got it down to about the 45. He got away from Vernon Todd. Todd had planted himself, and Bryant's too quick for that.
This Cougar defense has had problems all year long. Their style is a 4-3. But you take a look at Grayson, number 50. He's had a hamstring problem. Part of their problem is with their linebackers. A lot of injuries in that linebacker group. They'd really like to play a 3-4, but they feel like they don't have enough good linebackers to put 4 on the field at the same time.
Arbuckle is in at tight end on 2nd down and 8. Aikman's pass is thrown, caught by Farr. Farr is dropped at the Cougar 33. And that's a first down for the Bruins.
Take a look at the twist right there in front of you. Number 96 is Gray. Good protection. UCLA's offensive line picks it up. Farr, it's just a little quick out. Picks up 5 or 6 yards. Farr had knee surgery in the spring. They were concerned about him coming back, but he has made it all the way back.
Betty Mel. Many of you remember him.
I do.
Aikman back. 1 to throw, nobody there. Pulls it down, takes off again.
Troy Aikman.
Troy's had some licks laid on him here in the last couple of ball games. He's been rattled around more in the last 2 games than he had in all the other games before. And here today, he's running a lot with the football, and Cougars are trying to jump him.
Well, there's the left side of the offensive line. That's Jacobson, 77. 90 is Woodley. Finally gets free and just stays with it and makes a nice play to down Aikman.
Troy's run 4 times now for 33 yards. It's 2nd down and 6 for the Bruins. Down the middle, Arbuckle. And Charles Arbuckle inside the 15.
One of the weaknesses of that defense is you look at Arbuckle making it back after missing 4 games. Arbuckle is right here. He's just going to release to the inside and run a curl. Now Grayson, the middle linebacker, or this linebacker here, has to get back and play. He's just going to curl right in between the 2 of them. Play action fake to hold the linebackers. Arbuckle turns away from the most dangerous one. Grayson to the inside. Nice play.
And first down, Washington State 13-yard line. Into the middle goes Mark Estwick, 225-pound sophomore from La Cañada, which is not very far from the Rose Bowl. Hits, and it seems almost every week he's pounding in there with more authority.
Well, man pounding in the center, 68 is Cornish. To his right is Zeno, number 79. They do a nice job of blowing back the nose tackle. There's a look at Frank Cornish.
That's a pancake, isn't it? And Brian Brown is the tailback. He's got the ball. Got a hole. And stopped at the 5. I'll tell you one thing about Brown, and Wills too, when they come around that corner, it looks like they got a spring in them. You turn them loose and they just accelerate tremendously when they come off that corner.
UCLA has 3 outstanding tailbacks that they're using. They've got a couple more that we haven't seen, and we won't see till next year. They've got a lot of depth at that position.
Aikman sets him up. 3rd down, better part of 2 yards. Goes to Brown.
Brian Brown.
And he's going to lose a yard as coming up out of the secondary. Number 26 for Washington State, Ron Ricard. He's out of Burbank, California. Tony Savage was also there, but that DB coming on a blitz was the man that got him. So that'll bring up a 4th down and almost 3. And back into the game comes Alfredo Velasco, the place kicker. He's kicked a 47-yarder by the hair of his chinny chin a little while ago. I mean, it just barely got over. This one is 23. And it's 20 good. So he is 25 out of 26 field goals inside 44, and he just added another one to that list. Well, so far, it has not been a scintillating day for Troy. Twice now, they've had the ball down inside the Washington State 15, and they've come away with field goal. And I frankly find that surprising.
The Cougar defense is not didn't come in that highly regarded. Terry Donahue's got to be talking with Steve Axman, the offensive coordinator, who is in the booth, and trying to find out exactly what they're trying to do.
It would seem to me, Bob, that Washington State is known to be thin defensively in personnel, if nothing else. And UCLA is a very, very deep team. They've got 3 very good tailbacks. I'm not sure. I just wouldn't hammer on them.
Well, this style of defense that the Cougars play, they gamble a lot. They twist their line. They take a lot of chances. And they can make you look bad a lot of times. But you have to be patient, because if you hit them at the right time, you can look very good.
What a week. All right, the kickoff by Maggio goes inside the 5, where it's bobbled around by Tingstad. Now he falls down back at the 9. So that wasn't a particularly graceful return.
With the style of offense that the Cougars employ, you would think that they would throw more than they run. It's not necessarily the case. Here today, they've run 9 plays and have thrown the ball 8. You get more out of a one-back running attack than I've ever seen of any team.
All right, here they come up on first down from the 9, and Rosenball has good protection and throws it poorly. The pass intended for Wellsent is tight in, and he threw him a bullet that he couldn't haul in, and he threw it actually beyond him.
Well, they were fortunate it wasn't picked off, because it was batted around.
There were 2 Bruins there. I don't think Tim's used to having all that much time.
I don't think he expected it.
Second down. 2nd and 10 from the 9. Well, he's calling the play at the line of scrimmage, checking it off. Give it to Swinton. Not much. Maybe the 12 for the 3-yard pickup. And that'll bring up 3rd down, and let's join Mike out of it.
Keith, some nervous moments here for Pinky Erickson, and if the name sounds familiar, it should. Coach Dennis Erickson, this is his father, a guy who used to be an assistant at Washington State, one of the great high school coaches in the state of Washington and Everett. A chip off the old block.
I don't know about that, Mike, but this ball game is it's the best our defense has played. Now we got to move that football, and we'll be all right.
Do you like what your son is doing offensively?
Yes, I do. I think so. Very good.
Nope. Trying to get the ball to Stallworth, and covering on the play was Randy Beverly, and he had him well covered, and the pass was not particularly well thrown.
Well, he had a lot of pressure on him that time. Both outside linebackers, Carnell Lake and Eric Smith, were pressuring him. He had single coverage in the secondary and just threw it away from the defensive man. Good coverage.
All right, Rob Myers needs the punt of his life right here, because Darrell Henley's waiting to return it, and he's on the Cougar side of midfield. It's a low snap. There's no pressure. Penalty flag down. High, short kick. Fair catch, Henley at the 42. Bob, I have the feeling that when you're sitting in this position, first down on the opposition 42-yard line, you've been kind of wobbling around. Good football teams now stick in the end zone.
Especially when they haven't scored in the previous 2 drives. But you went to one of these schools, didn't you? Weren't you up in Washington State at one time? Aren't you a Cougar?
I'm a Cougar.
Huh?
I wish wish that hairstyle had come back. You could scratch your head.
You look good, though. You're an outstanding athlete, somebody was telling me up there. Huh?
Sure I was. Running from the house to the bookstore and back.
We got you.
That's a gotcha. Season ain't over. UCLA back. Aikman looks deep. Goes down the pipe. Got his man. 25-yard line. No good, they say now. The ball came down. Didn't hold it when he hit the ground. Reggie Moore.
On the 25-yard line.
Moore has great speed.
Artie Holmes.
Perhaps the most speed of any of the wide receivers, and he couldn't hang on.
It was thrown a little bit low, but certainly catchable. Somebody's got to come up and make some plays.
Just inside the 42, second down and 10. Ball is back in at tailback. Good throw, good catch by Mike Farr, out of bounds, down at the 27 or 8. 28 yards. And that'll be a first down for the Bruins. UCLA leading 6-3 with 9 minutes to go in the first half. It was 3-3 after the first quarter, and Velasco with his second field goal, giving the Bruins their lead. Ledbetter is now back in the game for Washington State. From the 28, Toy is in at fullback for the Bruins now. More at Toy. Aikman throwing again. Keating makes the catch on the sidelines. David, a junior out of Salinas. And the Bruins now have the football, first and goal at the Washington State 9.
Aikman did a nice job of looking to his left and then comes back and finds Keating. See, he looks away to his left and then comes all the way back to this side of the field, has the presence of mind to know where his receivers should be, finds the defensive men and throws between them. Now he's completed passes to 6 different receivers.
Eric Ball inside the 5 and brought down at the 4. 57, Keith Rice, the middle linebacker, makes the play for the Cougars.
Look defensively. Metcalf, number 40, is getting blocked. He's their leading tackler. He's on the ground, and on the ground good as Zeno, 79, finishes him off.
Second and goal for the Bruins from the Cougar 4. Aikman rolls it out. Young going to go for it himself and just misses the corner. He's about 6 inches short of the goal line as he literally flew through the air and out of bounds.
It's so important to have a quarterback that can move and just put so much more pressure on the defense. And Aikman and Rosenthal both have the ability to move around.
UCLA trying to score the first touchdown of the day in the ball game. They've got Eric Ball now back in there behind Estwick. Estwick. Touchdown, UCLA. Go in for the extra point try now. Maggio gets a good snap, and the kick is good. At 7:49 to go in the first half. UCLA Bruins now lead by 10. Ooh-wee. Hoosiers haven't quit, have they? My goodness. Mark Estwick. Big Mark getting the Bruins touchdown. And 13-3. Here's a new kick returner for the Cougars now. That's C.J. Davis. He's a true freshman, but instead Victor Wood takes it and breaks it outside and gets up across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. Rosenbaugh in trouble. Sacked back at the 20, and it is Mike Lodish getting the sack. Took a deep drop, and that gave Lodish some room to work.
That was a bootleg action, and he came out, was supposed to have fooled the defensive line. He didn't fool Lodish as he gets his 3rd sack of the year. Look at the top. The offensive line pull, that's the counter play. Lodish did not follow the offensive lineman down, contained very nicely, and got the sack.
Loss of 8 yards, 2nd down, 18. Little quick pop goes to Swinton out of the backfield across the 30 and out just over the 31.
Marcus Turner making the tackle.
So they immediately strike right back, and now they're looking at 3rd and relatively short, considering the fact that had an 8-yard sack. They are quick with it.
Swinton filling in for Steve Broussard. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, if you're just joining us, the sprained ankle couldn't play. Swinton substituted for him last week and gained 193 yards against Arizona State.
3rd down, 6.
3rd and a long 6. Keeps it. Doesn't get the 1st down. He tried to run the quarterback draw. Well, not much of a draw. He just took it and took off with it. And Craig Davis got just enough of him to bring him down.
Like more of an option. He saw that they were the blitz inside. It was a nice check. He got down the line, and if Davis hadn't tripped him up, he would have picked up the 1st down.
Here goes Henley again. Ever dangerous with that ball in the air. Myers back to punt. Myers has punted twice, 32 and 30. This time he gets something on it. Runs Henley all the way back to the 11. And the Cougars get him at the 13. Michael Wright ran him down. So that, after 2 relatively weak punts by Myers, he knocks one 55 yards. The return is 3 yards. The Bruins will be looking at a little tougher fellow, I think, when they go into Eugene and USC side. And the Ducks were down here. Back goes Troy Aikman on 1st down. They run him out. He takes off. And Aikman doing more running today than he has done all season. And there's a penalty flag. Face mask. Oh, against the Cougars. That'll give the Bruins some working room. The flag was thrown back inside the line of scrimmage. You don't normally see kind of call in that particular neighborhood. Miami winning again today in Oklahoma. That was a 14-14 ball game in the 1st half.
Take a look at the lower part of the screen and see if we can pick up the face mask. That's a Bruin with his hand in the face mask. Right there. Yeah.
You know that Troy Aikman has picked up more yards than the rest of the people are running. And UCLA, he's run for 43 yards, and the rest of the team has run for 28.
That is a surprise. There's a 1st half possession.
1st down, just over their own 35. Aikman throwing again, has Moore down the middle, and Moore will get to the 42. Pickup of about 7 yards. Dan Grayson got the tackle for Washington State, and we're at 5:45 to play in the 1st half. UCLA leading Washington State 13-3. This is the #1 team in the country. And the Cougar defense has been maligned and battered coming into this ball game, but they played it pretty tough. Eric Ball is the tailback. Has the ball. Trying for the 1st down, and it's going to come up a yard short.
Keith Rice makes the tackle.
Westbrook lined up now behind Aikman on 3rd and 1. Aikman still got it. Wanted to go big with it. Instead, unloads it out to the tight end, Austin. And Randy Austin is finally pulled down at the Washington State 23. Big guy, 225-pound sophomore, and he just kept on hammering. And finally, Artie Holmes was able to wrestle him down.
The good call, Steve Axman, the offensive coordinator. You're on the other team's side of the 50. It's a nice time to go for it on 3rd and short. And a man going deep, the coverage was deep, but the outlet receiver, Austin, was wide open. The UCLA coaches in the press box. Axman to the lower right of your screen has all of his plays charted, all the defenses, and the computer just puts them out.
Very ball. Down to the 21, a couple of yards on the carry. The question keeps coming up to Terry Donahue about throwing deep. And I thought that time Troy was going to let it fly.
Well, he looked deep, and you saw him look deep, and that's the way you throw. You read coverages deep to short. If there's something open deep, you throw it. But if it's not, you come off to the short receiver, and that time Aikman read it perfectly.
2nd down and 8 with Toy in the backfield now for the Bruins. Down the middle. And it's the fullback, Maury Toy, making the catch. And I mean, there was not a white shirt within 5 yards of it.
Aikman does a nice job of getting away from the rush. There's a little twist now. Number 90 is Woodley. He backs up, knows he needs just a little bit more time. If you didn't follow the ball, you saw that Aikman took Woodley out of the play. He just kind of buried himself with Woodley, but it was a nice play.
Troy is now 7 of his last 8 passes. Ball is near the Washington State 8-yard line, and it's 1st and goal, UCLA. 3:08 to play in the first half. And timeout Bruins. Aikman heads to the sideline.
That is their first of the half.
So UCLA leading 13-3, talking about another opportunity. All right, the Bruins have had their offensive conference. It is 1st and goal, Washington State 8-yard line. And Aikman, who's been taking the offensive load so far today for the Bruins, sets up. Gives it to Eric Ball.
Eric Ball.
And Ball gets to the 4-yard line. Cougars had a shot at him. Shot at him back around the line of scrimmage, but missed him, and Artie Holmes finally brought him down. I can't imagine that Eric Ball could carry the ball last week 11 times and gain 10 yards at Arizona.
Well, talking with some of the coaches from UCLA, they said he went the wrong way a couple of times. And, they had a tough time running the football anyway, but when you go the wrong way, it even makes it worse.
On 2nd and goal from the 4. Ball again.
Eric Ball.
Don't give it to him.
Out of bounds on the 1-yard line.
He hit the marker in the corner, but they mark him out 6 inches short of the goal line. Ledbetter and Moton making the defensive play for the Cougars. Well, today Eric has 11 carries and has picked up 27 yards.
He kicked the pylon over there on the corner of the end zone. His foot was in the end zone, but the ball never made it.
Danny Thompson comes in and brings the play, number 15. He steps up into a slot. Give it to Aikman, keeps it, throws it, back of the end zone, touchdown, Thompson.
Danny Thompson is a senior, has not played very much because of all the other tailbacks. A nice fake into the line of scrimmage to the lower right of your screen. Thompson, number 15, catches his 3rd pass of the season and his 3rd touchdown pass of the season.
UCLA now trying to make it a 20-3 ball game with Velasco in. And he does. 2:15 to play in the first half. That is the 8th different receiver to catch an Aikman pass. How many of you know that Washington State is where Ed Murrow got his education? Another look at it. Good fake.
It's fake, and I think if I were the defensive team, I'd keep somebody on Thompson. He's caught 3 passes and 3 for touchdowns. He only plays when he gets inside the 5-yard line. He's that motion back. He's a good receiver, a good blocker. He's an intelligent kid. He's a senior. He's been around the program. I'd keep an eye on him if I were the defense.
All right, Maggio kicks it off, and Kirk really nails this one way up in the air, and that affords you good coverage. Victor Wood, number 13, looking for a crack. And he gets a little, but not enough, as he comes down, crashing to the ground at the 25-yard line.
McGill makes the tackle.
So now let's see if the Cougars can generate some offense, because the UCLA defensive people just haven't given them much opportunity here in the last couple of possessions.
10 on their own 25.
It's time for Rosenball to make something happen. The last 3 possessions, 3 plays and out.
You won't beat this UCLA bunch with a tango offense, will you?
1, 2, 3 kick, huh?
Down the middle, got a man. Pass good to the 40-yard line, caught by Tim Stallworth. He plays in that slot back position. Called slot back in this offense. Simply means wideout.
Until the end of halftime. If you need to leave the section,
that's right. 3 wide receivers. 3 wide receivers. It's one of them's a slot.
Cougars coming quickly now. First down at the 40. Rosenball got some green grass in front of him, so he'll take off. Dives for the marker, and a penalty flag, and the Bruins are going to get whacked here. Eric Smith pursued him too long. So that flag is against the Bruin defenders. Personal foul.
He's already out of bounds right here. That's a poor decision by the linebacker, Smith. That's a big play for the offense. It helps the offense. Having been there, offensively you feel like, hey, we've made a couple of nice gains on our first 2 plays. Now they give us 15 more. We've got 1:45 left. Let's go down and get a touchdown before halftime.
First down, UCLA 35-yard line. Rosenball stepping back to look over the defense. Now he calls his play and goes under center. And tripped up. Number 66, Jim Waller, the nose guard. Saw him step back, reached up, grabbed his ankle. When he tried to take off up the middle on the quarterback draw, Big Jim had a hold of him. Timeouts remaining for Washington State, a pair, as well as the Bruins, and you're now at 1:41. And Jim Waller's tackle resulting in the better part of a 3-yard loss, so it's going to be second down and 13.
Women's volleyball match tonight against Brigham Young at 8 p.m. Pauley Pavilion.
It hasn't been the kind of game, Bob Greasy, that I expected. But then that's oftentimes the case, isn't it? I thought these guys might be going up and down the field for a while. They haven't. Rosenball with that option, turns it in the middle, takes off. And inside the 30, they'll mark him at the 29, and he's going to be at least 4 yards short of the first down.
Washington State came in with the high-powered offense, averaging over 500 yards in total offense a game. The first 2 drives were impressive, and then the defense of UCLA took over, as we mentioned in the opening, a very good defense. And Rosenball and their offense has not done anything in the last 3 possessions. They really need to get on the board here as they're going down towards halftime, so they can come out in the second half with a little momentum.
All right, number 48, Doug Klein, linebacker, had gone to the sidelines. He comes back in now, calls the defensive play for the Bruins. So let's see how they set up. They show a 3-man down. Rosenball back very quickly. Bingo sidelines, and it's good caught by Pelham, and that'll be a first down for the Cougars. So he told us that early yesterday. He said, when I look up and I see a man uncovered, he looks at me, I blink my eyes at him, and
that's really how it works. So you can have a running play called, and if somebody is uncovered, they just make eye contact where both of them know what each other is going to do. He just fires it to them.
So it's first down at the UCLA 21, 1:27 to go, first half. Gotta hurry. Boy, there comes that outside speed. Carnell Lake and Doug Klein, 31 and 48.
Anytime you come to the line of scrimmage, you've got to see somebody lined up like that. He's just going to come from the outside. He looks away from him, never sees him coming.
That time it is Eric Smith. Eric finally getting some vindication after getting hit with a 15-yard personal foul for taking him out of bounds. This time Smith also came from the outside.
Anytime you spread all of your receivers out and take anybody your back out of the backfield, it spreads the defense. But defensively, what they can do is say, we may have you outnumbered if we blitz some people. And they can find a way. And Bob Field and Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinators for the UCLA Bruins, have done that. They've put pressure on Rosenball. And even though he likes to throw the ball quickly, he has not seen where the blitz is going to come from every time, and they've got to him on several occasions.
Well, things have deteriorated considerably for the Cougars after that opening minute or so, or 5 minutes when they had the ball. They've had 5 penalties. They've been sacked 5 times, and they have fumbled once.
Yep.
So that's amounts to 11 mistakes.
Yep. It's a very aggressive defense, Keith. I was just going to say they do a lot of different things defensively and a lot of speed. They're not big, but they're very quick and very fast.
They're backed up now to UCLA 34, where it's third down. And they've got to go to the 11, so they need 23 yards. Rosenball's pass, got a man over there. The ball is underthrown and incomplete. Wimberly was over there, but he didn't catch the ball. The ball was thrown down at his feet. If he hits him in the numbers with this, he might still be running.
Yeah, it's a poor throw. He is wide open. No, looks like he got his hands underneath it. I can't tell for sure.
He was arguing about it.
Yeah.
Henson is in now. He had a 48-yarder. This one is a 51-yard try.
1-yard field goal.
51-yarder. A lot of leg. Whoa! Good.
Woo. UCLA 20.
That's been the style of offense the Cougars have been used to. They usually scoring touchdowns and not settling for field goals, but great kick.
I mean, he not only kicked it 51 yards good, but that ball went, it was up around the top of the uprights when it went through. I bet he kicked that thing 65 yards.
Well, he hit it good. He knew he hit it good, and he just needed to check the direction, and immediately, that's in slow motion, he knew it was good immediately.
Look at this. That's a rocket. Bruins now have 2 timeouts to work with if they get a good return. Set them up for something. And it's Brian Brown and Sean Wills. They can burn it. Back in the end zone. Nope, no return. 20-yard line.
Ball's down in the end zone. Bruins will take over first and 10.
Let's see if load it up and let it fly. Just throw it as far as you can throw it and see who can run and catch it. Nope. Eric Ball takes it. That gets the clock rolling, and Eric is out around the 24-yard line. Senior from Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Brought down by Keith Wright.
So it would appear that Terry Donahue is content to go to the clubhouse at halftime, leading by 14 points.
Well, I don't think he wants to do anything to create a turnover that's going to give Washington State any more points this first half.
Second down and 6. And that'll do it. So the first half is over. And at halftime, the top-ranked team in the country, the UCLA Bruins, lead the Washington State Cougars 20-6. Right now, let's go to our studios in New York and Corey McFerrin. What do you think about this first half of play?
Well, I think the two quarterbacks are the highlight performers going in. I think Troy Aikman has done very well. He's passed for over 150 yards, rushed for 40, almost 200 yards. He's leading his offense the way he wants to. I think Rosenball, on the other hand, is having more problems. Of course, he's going up against a tougher defense in UCLA's. He's got to play better in the second half. He's got to avoid the sacks, see the blitz coming, and know where to go with the football. If Washington State's got a chance to win, he's got to play well.
Well, he's had some guys open, and he just simply hasn't hit them, too. So he's really got to bear down here and hustle himself back into the ball game as the Bruins lead by 14, and we're ready to go with the second half. Well, some of the fun at halftime there. As we get ready to go with the second half, Washington State will kick off to UCLA. Bruins ranked #1 in the country and leading 20-6 at halftime. Brian Brown and Sean Wills are deep, standing at the goal line for the UCLA Bruins. And kicking off, Jason Henson, who has kicked 2 big field goals for the Cougars, 48 and 51 yards. Keeps that kickoff low, though. It's at about a yard deep in the end zone. Sean Wills getting a chance to run with it, and he can run. Bruins have 2 touchdowns coming in the first half, after 2 field goals. Here is the first one. That's Mark Estwick, the fullback, over the top for their first touchdown. And the second one came through the air as Troy Aikman fake throws him, lobs it into the back of the end zone, and Danny Thompson pulled it down. And the Bruins will start just over their 28, first down, first snap of the second half. Aikman been busy today. Shoots it to the sidelines. Pass is good to Randy Austin. And now let's check in with Mike Adamle.
Well, at least, Keith, for Dennis Erickson, the key to this second half is what they can do offensively. Tim Rosenball is going to have to eat up a little more time on the clock. You looked at the defensive linemen, especially for Washington State. They were really beat up. A lot of that problem was because they were on the field so long. That can't happen in the second half for the Cougars to have any kind of a chance. Keith?
Thank you, Michael. 35-yard line. Second down and 4. And the fullback Estwick gets it and picks up a first down for the Bruins at the 40. The halftime stats.
Well, at the bottom of the screen, the time of possession, that's what Mike Adamle was talking about. Almost 2 for 1 for UCLA. Number of plays UCLA leads, and also total yardage, 237 yards in the first half for UCLA. And a lot of that came in the second quarter.
And plus 5 penalties on the Cougars, 5 sacks, and 1 fumble. First down, Bruins. Eric Ball. Big hole left side. And Eric Ball explodes to the Washington State 46.
In the second quarter, UCLA really took charge, holding the ball for nearly 11 minutes and is outscoring the Cougars 17-3.
And Aikman now on first down, looks to load it up, throws it low, and they'll give a catch to Reggie Moore. Both quarterbacks have been low a lot today.
They throw it low so they won't have it intercepted. It's the fear of having interceptions. High passes are intercepted. As you take a look at the first half possessions, only 1 time or 2 times did they get the ball in Cougar territory. Their second and fourth possessions, and both times they scored, once a field goal and once a touchdown.
Well, I got a guy like Moore, Bob. I want him with his feet under him.
Oh, sure. You don't aim to throw it low, but if anything, you throw it from the shoulders down, not any higher.
There's a little swing out, set up the screen out here, and it was a little bit slow developing. They were trying to get more into a screen position.
Well, it was a little bit slow because Big Bill Page, the offensive tackle, took a little time in getting out there. He weighs 275 pounds. That was a screen where the wide receiver waits for the lineman, and the lineman was Page on the left side. He's going to block for a second. Now watch 76 Page. Now he says, okay, wait for me. I'm coming. Wait for me, Reggie. I'm coming. Here I come. I'm coming, Reggie. Here I am. No, I can't block those little guys. They're too quick for me.
9 straight completions for Aikman. Gives the ball to Ball. Big hole on that side again. And Eric Ball is inside the 20 and a penalty flag. And probably Cougars are going to get nailed right here for hitting the man well out of bounds. Big block by the fullback Estwick.
Yeah, it's already
Referee's Larry Thompson.
Yeah. You just cannot do this. You cannot have this amount of penalties. Artie Holmes with the personal foul out of bounds and have a winning program. Dennis Erickson has got to get rid of these flagrant fouls.
McCracken checks in now. Mike Adamle for a moment.
Well, Keith, the UCLA, Terry Donahue, very happy. One of the things that he wanted to reestablish this game was the running attack. They have done that in the first half. They've done it again here in the second half, although Troy Aikman picked up a lot of that yardage in the first half. Maybe why we haven't seen a typical UCLA offense. Remember who they play. Next week, Oregon, then Stanford, and, of course, on November 19th, the grudge match against USC. So maybe they're kind of hiding some of their offense today.
They might need it next week, Mike, up at Eugene. All right, the penalty tacked on puts UCLA first and goal just inside the Cougar 9. And they're running the ball well to start the second half as Eric Ball blows it in, touchdown.
Blocking here. Tight end's going to come and double team down here. The fullback is going to kick out on this block. It'll be a nice hole. The guard is going to get knocked off. He's not even going to make it out there, but they really don't need him. Tight end doubles down. Fullback gets a nice block and good tough running.
And Velasco right on the money. So the opening possession, and UCLA bounds out to a 27-6 lead. We're not counting possessions to run out the half. UCLA has scored 5 consecutive times. They had the 2 field goals. Now they've got 3 touchdowns, and they lead 27-6. And they are threatening to slam the door on this one unless the Cougars can give Rosenbaugh and company some field position off this kickoff, and they can get it on down the field.
Well, they've scored 28 points in every game, at least 28 in every game they've played, and they're averaging 38, so they're going up a little bit different defense here than they faced all year.
Sure, this Bruin defensive bunch, tough, great speed. That's a high kickoff, and it goes to Victor Wood, and Wood gets back to the 21, and that's all. Here are the first half possessions for the Cougars, and early on it was reasonably good, but they got off in their first possession for their field goal in 5 plays, but from then on it went downhill.
Well, he fumbled on the second possession, and then 3 straight 3 plays and out, and that's in the second quarter when UCLA just dominated.
Rosenbaugh comes up now. He's 9 out of 14 for 114 yards. Hands the ball off to Swinton, who bounces to the outside, gets a good gain on the play, and will have a first down up around the 32.
The individual leaders for the Cougars. Rosenbaugh not having that good of a day for him. Swinton only 28 yards.
On the play of 11.
Steve Broussard home with a sprained ankle. Didn't make the trip.
And he was the #1 rusher in the Pac-10. And they miss him.
Goes Swinton again. And he gets 3 yards up to the 35.
On the tackle.
Mike Lodish. And it got the tackle.
First 2 plays in the second half, the Cougars have come out. They run a counter play, one to the left, one to the right, trying to reestablish some ground game to get some protection for Rosenbaum.
Going to run it again. And Swinton works his way up just over the 38 before Craig Davis brings him down. Tim Rosenbaum, as he comes up behind that center, is looking at one of the quickest defensive teams in the country, particularly among the linebackers, and this is the comment he had yesterday.
Their whole team has great team speed. You're not going to be able to leave the ball hanging in the air, which is something I've tried to work on in practice this week. A lot more zip on passes, and just reading the defense. And they can run to the ball, but they're still going to play the basic same coverages that we've been seeing all year.
And you saw an example of it there. He just stood up, saw the uncovered man. It was Pelham on the sidelines, and he drilled it right into his chest, and he caught it for a first down. Ball at the Washington State 46. Paul Carr is in the backfield.
No wonder it's going so smooth.
Officials timeout. So Tim Rosenbaum now, happy with a clean football, steps up, first down, 46-yard line, with a play-action fake, looks down the middle, late getting it there, but it's complete, and Stallworth slides away in a penalty flag. So let's look here. Might be a face mask, and it is, and it's against UCLA, and probably inadvertent.
Stallworth is coming over the middle.
Incidental face mask.
It's Turner, number 24. Gets away from that and picks up some good yardage before Johnson knocks him out of bounds.
Incidental grabbing of the face mask, that is to grab and release, and unintentional is only a 5-yard penalty versus the 15 for twisting it. And that gives Washington State now a first down at the UCLA 29-yard line. And he's now passed 2,000 yards on the season. Formation call from the sideline. There's that little quick pop, and it's caught. Brought in by number 36, Elmer Thomas, a senior from Dallas, Texas. And he moves the ball from the 29 to the 21.
When you spread everybody out here like this, you've got the defensive men. The thing you're not prepared to do is block these blitzers from both sides. The thing you can do, however, is throw the ball quickly. 2 outside guys come. They don't have time, but he gets rid of it. That time he avoided the sack and made a positive play.
Swinton back into the ball game, tries to go on the left side, fumbles the football. Down under there somewhere. I think he's got it between his legs. They're fighting over it.
I think he was laying on it, and his offensive lineman got in there and tried to get it.
So that'll be the center, Fakama. Big Dave saw the ball, I guess, rolling around between Swinton's legs, and he dove in there and fetched it. And they retain it at the 21.
It's a good offensive line that Washington State has. Fakama, Mike Utley, the right guard, is being mentioned on some preseason All-Americans. That's him, number 60. And Dyko, another man in that offensive line, is very strong blocker.
On third down, they go with a run, and Swinton is going to have the first down as he fights his way close to the UCLA 15, and Craig Davis with another tackle for the Bruins. Swinton is a 175-pound sophomore. Number 2 Notre Dame didn't exactly bury Navy today, but they won. And up at Corvallis, USC leading Oregon State. Miami was a winner today again. So first down, Cougars just short of the Bruin, 15-yard line. Rosenbaum ran into number 60, Mike Utley, that time. He tried to slide behind Utley. Utley lost his footing, and as he fell down, he impaired the progress of Rosenbaum. West Virginia putting it to the Nittany Lions, right? Don Nehlen's got a good football team. Second down. About 9. Rosenbaum down the middle. Stallworth at the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown. He's a fighter.
here Stallworth is going to go down to the inside. The linebacker is going to come out as, again, they're blitzing. Rosenball sees it. He doesn't have a lot of time. The man sees the blitz. He comes to the inside, breaks the tackle by Turner, and makes a great effort to get in for the touchdown.
Jason Hanson is in for the extra point. Darrell Henley came flying in there and almost got a piece of that, but the kick is good. The effort of Stallworth here as he fights away from the 5, and he got the last 5 on his own. 27-13. Well, Stallworth's got a touchdown in the books, but I will show you the replay of it, and it could have been called down short, but it wasn't. The kickoff, Goodwin back into the end zone, and they're going to come with it. It is Sean Wills. Sean getting a chance to run a little, and he's going to take that chance, but this time it was probably poor judgment because he is stopped short of the 14-yard line. Here's the Stallworth touchdown.
His right knee, watch his right knee. He's going to be down right there. Now, the ball should have been marked there about the 1.5-yard line. Both officials are looking at the ball to see if he gets in.
He is clearly down.
Yeah.
But the Cougars will take it. Trailing 27-13, and UCLA starting just short of their own 14. Arbuckle, the tight end. Number 81 is in there playing quite a bit today, coming off of an injured knee. Aikman's going to throw it. Troy goes down the middle to Arbuckle, and he is brought down just at the 20. Pickup of about 6 yards. Bob O'Neill made the tackle.
Arbuckle's had some knee problems. He had surgery on one of his knees last year in the offseason, and hurt it about 3 or 4 games ago, and this is his first action. Steve Axman, the offensive coordinator, wants to get him in for 3 or 4 plays. You know, they've got 2 outstanding tight ends playing on this ball club.
2nd and 4, it's Eric Ball. Cuts it back inside, big hole for him, drops the ball. Cougars may have it. Yes, they do. So the Bruins turn it over just short of the 40. Eric Ball with a good cut, great blocking, and was recovered on his way almost.
Watch the blocking to the right side of your screen. Number 40, Metcalf, gets pushed to the outside. Ball makes a good effort and just relaxes at the very end. Drops the ball, it's on the ground, and the Cougars cover it. Big play for the Cougars.
Marlon Brown, number 99, man on the ball, and Washington State now with an opportunity at the UCLA 37 after the turnover. He's looking to cash it in. 3 wideouts, bottom of the picture. Swinton goes to the top. That's 4 wideouts, and Rosenball takes off down the sideline. And they give him the first down. He got just beyond the marker. And you got a Bruin very slow to get up. Number 66, that's Jim Waller, the UCLA nose guard, getting up very gingerly, hobbling. Something wrong with his left ankle or left leg, and Jim's going to have to leave the ball game.
Boilermakers jumped all over those Wisconsin Badgers.
So it's a first down for Washington State, just inside the UCLA 27. Rosenball's pass is incomplete. Intended for Victor Wood.
Incomplete.
Had him wide open, too, and Rosenball knows it. The play action held the linebackers, and he was right in the gap between the linebackers and defensive backs, and that should have been a completion. Rosenball came into the game averaging 71% completion, going for 18 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions.
2nd and 10. Got some heat this time. gets loose. He's got another first down. So both quarterbacks running a lot today. Clock stops at 7:24 to go in the third quarter.
Rosenball came into the game today averaging 8 runs per game, 8 scrambles, if you will, for over 300 yards. So it's a big part of their offense. And whenever you've got an offense that spreads their receivers and the quarterback that can run, it gives you extra problems.
Bruins 13-yard line, first down Cougars. Swinton pops a tackle, and if he kept his balance, he's in the end zone, but he didn't. However, he's down close to another first down, but this time they pick up the contact with the ground and mark him at the Bruins 6, where it'll be first and goal, Washington State.
Well, that big turnover that the Cougars got on the fumble is really given some life to this team. As I mentioned, they've scored 28 points in every game, and 4 times they've scored 40 points or more, so they're used to scoring points.
Second down at about 3. Swinton again, and touchdown, Cougars. So they answer right back, and now we're getting ourselves into a circumstance where we've got a little bit of a ball game here, don't we?
Exactly what Terry Donahue didn't want. When we're on top of them, keep them down. It's a spread offense, but watch to the right side of the screen. That's Dyko, number 68. Utley is 60. Wellsan is 82, the tight end, all getting good blocks for Swinton, and it's an 8-point ball game, and if he makes the kick, it's down to 7.
Hanson's kick. Good.
Good.
At 6:45 to go in the third quarter, it's now a 27-20 UCLA lead. Washington State scoring in the first 37 minutes and 25 seconds. They had 6 points, and now in the last 5 minutes and 50 seconds of the third quarter, they popped up with 14 points. Hanson kicks it off. Long kick back into the end zone. The Bruins run together, Wills and Brown, and there will be no return of that kickoff. From the 20, it's first down, UCLA now. Let's see if the Bruins can answer back, as the Cougars have popped up here with 14 points in the third quarter, and Aikman drops to throw it and goes deep with it. He's got a man absolutely wide open, Reggie Moore. I mean, Moore could have caught a cold. He was so alone out there.
Todd was a defensive back on coverage, and Moore just ran him deep, thinking it was a deep takeoff pattern, and he stopped and came back, and as you mentioned, he was open by 10 yards.
It's at the 41. Troy Aikman now 17 out of 22, 207 yards, and he's hit 11 straight passes. This is the fullback, Mark Espen, and not much.
Here's a look at Larry Zeno, number 79, a part of that offensive line that's been giving Aikman all that time. Lance Zeno, his father was Larry, father was Joe, and his uncle was Larry. They all played at UCLA. His mother and sister graduated here. Their home is painted blue and gold, and when someone asked him where you were going to school, he says, I couldn't imagine going anywhere else.
Double wide bottom of the picture as Aikman drops. Quick drop, quick pass. Caught. Good. Washington State 48-yard line, and good enough for the first down. David Keating. David, a 6-footer, 185 pounds, and Washington leading Stanford by 12 at halftime. Look at that. Bruce Arians got a win today at Temple. Bruins now trying to respond after Washington State's touchdown following the turnover. From the 48, Aikman back on first down, and he's caught, and he is sacked. Back at the UCLA 46, Tony Savage, number 75, big junior out of San Francisco.
Savage came into the ballgame with only 1 sack. And right next to him, Ivan Cook had 8 coming in, and that is The strength of that defense, if they have a strength, is their front four, putting pass pressure, putting rush pressure on the quarterback.
Second down at about 16. Aikman lets it go. The ball pops loose. Bruins pursue it to the sideline. A UCLA man was the last to touch it. Mike Farr, and that ball was really flying around. Ooh, that's a pretty good hit.
That's a great hit by O'Neal, number 41. The back is going to check down. I guess that's Farr coming on a little slant. Clearly has possession. Watch the hit by O'Neal. And the Bruins were just fortunate to gain possession.
Yeah, that ball bounces the other way. Washington State's got it. Bruins keep it. Ball is at the 44, and it's 3rd and long. Aikman back. Troy has a lot of time to look, and now they chase him out, and down he goes at the 45, and that was a very good defensive series for Washington State as Ledbetter got the tackle. I'll tell you what, Bruins can't afford now to be fiddling around here, and I don't know, it'd mean to suggest that they're not trying, but
that was a big defensive series for Washington State too. Their defensive line put some pressure on him and forced him to punt the ball away.
Well, that's this whole story of this Pac-10 conference, though, isn't it? From top to bottom, it's tough. And that's a good kick by Harold Barkey. High spinning kick. Here comes the return by Victor Wood. Back across the 30, out to the 32. Now, right here in this ball game, with 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, there's going to be a little pressure on the UCLA defensive bunch as they come on the field. We'll be back in a moment. All right, Washington State bounced back into this ball game in the 3rd quarter. Harry Donahue obviously concerned. His #1 ranked Bruins. Right now, the defense is being challenged as the Cougars take over at their own 32. Rosenbaugh, pass thrown behind Stallworth, incomplete. I'll tell you what, Bob, if he could have waited another half second, that might have been 6 points. But he threw the ball quickly and threw it behind him. And let's again pause 5 seconds so our local stations can identify themselves. Second down and 10. Washington State. Rosenbaugh gives that ball to Swinton, and he's to the 36, a pickup of about 4 yards. John Pryor brought him down. John, a junior from Santa Barbara, California, for the Bruins. Jim Waller is back in now. Mike Adamley had told us that he had a bruise, lower part of his legs. The big guy walked it off, and he's back in. 3rd down, 6, Washington State.
Here they come.
Crowd trying to get in it. Ball is lobbed down the middle and overthrown, intended for Pelham. So not a good possession for Rosenbaugh.
This is what he sees. There's nobody in the middle of the field. The linebackers are blitzing. The man's going to come. They had a touch, but he just couldn't get him the ball. He comes up. He sees nobody in the middle of the field. Now he waits and just overthrows him. That was a touchdown written all over it if he could just have dropped it in.
And Rob Myers, whose last one was 55, will punt it. Can't get it to turn over this time, and Darrell Hindley with the short punt, forced to the fair catch up around the 31-32, 33-yard punt. Here's Mike.
Well, Keith, as UCLA goes after a possible national championship in football, Bruins sports fans can already savor one national title. Women's softball, the titleist in all the country. Lisa Longacre was the nation's top player, a pitcher, 31 wins, 23 shutouts, and today a special honor before the game. I know you feel mighty good about it.
Yeah, it's an honor.
You guys actually work out with the football team in terms of having strength coaches and conditioning coaches. There's a nice rapport between the two, isn't there?
Yeah, they're great. They're very supportive of both, and they'll do anything they can to help.
31 victories a year ago for the national championship Bruin teams. What can you do for an encore?
Win again.
Win again. That sounds like a good idea. Keith, the word is I haven't had a chance to see her pitch, but she can wing it. Keith.
23 shutouts?
Yep, 23 shutouts. Thanks, Lisa. Congratulations.
In the ball game at tailback now, Sean Wills, the 180-pound freshman from Hanford, California. And he just picked up 3 yards on his first carry. And it'll be 2nd down and 7. Aikman is now hit. And a pass thrown just over Mike Farr going downfield. Aikman now has hit 13 passes in a row, and he had that string broken right there. See Mark Ledbetter kind of hobbling off the field for Washington State now, so they'll have to replace him for the moment. And UCLA with a 3rd down and 7. 2 minutes, 33 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 27-20, UCLA lead. That's a quick one, and very close to the 1st down as Troy just stood up and laid it right on the numbers of Mike Farr. And Ron Lee got to him as quickly as he could. And it's going to be a 1st down for UCLA. Indiana, 16 points over Iowa. Arizona State beat Washington State last week.
Larry Marmee over there, bringing him back.
Well, he got Justin in there at quarterback.
Playing well.
Yep. 1st down, Bruins from the 42. This is Wills. He just like kind of hides in there and all of a sudden pops out. And the ball comes out to the 44 on the carry, about 3 yards. Terry Donahue talking with me Thursday about the argument over whether or not UCLA should be throwing deeper more, and this is what TD had to say.
We're not a great deep throwing team. People have criticized us for that. It's kind of become a focal point in the media now that UCLA doesn't throw the ball deep. That isn't totally true, Keith. We've thrown the ball deep against some opponents. When it's there, we can throw it deep. But we kind of take a philosophy that we want to take what the defense gives us. And if the defense is playing a lot of deep zone and doesn't give you a lot of deep balls, you better take the underneath stuff. I think we're capable of throwing the ball deep. I just don't think that right now the opportunities have been as plentiful as they were a year ago.
Well, you just saw an example of it there as the Cougars covered deep when he tried to go underneath, but number 92 was right in his face, Dan Weber.
And the other thing, when you do go deep, it takes a little bit longer. You expose your quarterback a little more. If there is a weakness on this offense, it's their pass protection. It's a young offensive line.
Go to the shotgun now on 3rd and 7. Goes for Farr and can't get it to him. Mike had broken free about 25 yards downfield, but by that time they were climbing all over Troy, and now it'll bring up 4th down, and Barkate comes in to punt for the 3rd time in the game. At 1:08 to go, 3rd quarter, 20 ball game, UCLA. Victor Wood is standing back on his own 15 to accept it.
Victor Wood back to the receive for the Cougars.
Barkate's a good punter. Wood at the 16 and down right there. Good coverage as Marcus Patton got down in a hurry. Here comes Swinton. From the 16 to the 19, and Craig Davis gets another tackle. Well, he's made a lot of tackles today at that inside linebacker position.
UCLA rotates their inside linebackers. Davis and Johnson start, but Klein and Argo also play a lot. In fact, those 4 are the leading tacklers. 4 of the top 6 tacklers on the ball club are the inside linebackers.
2nd down, 7.
Good situation. Here they come. There he goes.
Whoa, I'll say there he goes. Nobody back there. Touchdown. No flags. 30-yard touchdown for Tim Stallworth.
Big play. There's nobody here in the middle of the field. UCLA comes up and shows their defense too quickly. They're blitzing these guys. Right here is Stallworth. He's just going to go down the middle of the field. The quarterback sees there's nobody in the middle. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time, but just give me a little time. It's a quick pass. He threw it 15 yards for a long touchdown.
And this crowd in the Rose Bowl has grown very quiet.
You can't do that. You can't show your defense that far ahead of time to establish a very good quarterback.
Henson's kick is good, and with 12 seconds to play in the third quarter, you've got a tie ball game. Top-ranked UCLA 27, Washington State 27.
We told you that Washington State could score. Now watch the blue guys. All these guys are going to blitz right in here. Everybody's blitzing. Nobody's back here in the middle to help out. You've got everybody spread out. There's nobody in the middle of the field. The quarterback sees it. You got one-on-one down the middle of the field. Short, quick throw. You've got some speed. And Stallworth, who is the cousin of the former Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver, John Stallworth, certainly knows how to get into the end zone.
Ooh, hello.
He's got 6 receptions today and 2 touchdowns. That gives him 7 on the year touchdowns. He came in with 36 receptions, led this ball club. And this is a little bit of what Dennis Erickson brought with him to Washington State. This style of offense, spread, score a lot of points. He also took it to Wyoming, stilled it there, and Idaho.
Well, if they hadn't made all those mistakes in the first half, you might have a totally different thing. But at least they're even now at 27. And this is Sean Wills at the goal line. And he's 1 man away from really breaking it big. And that 1 man was Chris Moton. But still very good field position for the opening snap in this possession.
A big series of plays that last time when Washington State got that touchdown. UCLA coming out and just really showing them what they were going to do. They had been disguising very well for the most part of the ball game, and that time Rosenball just read it. Sure, Donahue just telling him, all right, settle down, don't try to get it all back in one play. No, we need a score on this drive. Just take your time.
Brian Brown carrying for UCLA, and a solid lick on the line. Third quarter is over. Well, both these Washington teams have been a problem for UCLA this football season. We've got 15 minutes to go in this one. We've got 15 minutes left, and we're even at 27. And UCLA owns the football, 2nd down and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Washington State won that third quarter decisively. Troy Aikman back to throw. Gets his pass away, and it is caught up at the 43 by David Keating. And Aikman took a lick as he delivered the ball. But, I mean, he had some sizzle on it and right on the money.
The stats after 3 quarters of play. Offense is pretty much the same. UCLA still with 10 minutes more in time of possession, but the third quarter alone, statistics really favored Washington State, having come back and really scored 21 points to UCLA's 7.
Call it first down, Bruins at their own 44-yard line. That's where they were in the second quarter stats. And this is third quarter only, as you see Washington State with a big edge in that too. From the 44. Aikman checks off. And pitches to Brown. Brown gets ridden down by Mark Ledbetter, number 91.
This Cougar defense is inspired and fired up right now. They've been maligned all year long. If you just joined us, they came in ranked last in the conference in three of the four major defensive categories. But right now, they're not remembering that a bit.
Well, it's second down and still just about 10. Aikman underneath. Arbuckle. Tough fella. Hard guy to handle. And looks to me like Charles is going to be very close to a first down.
Mentioned that UCLA Arbuckle number 81 with an inside release. He is the outlet receiver. With two of the best tight ends in the country, Arbuckle certainly one of them. Carwin Anthony is the other. Neither one of them started today, both because of injury, but Arbuckle is a fine, fine player.
Ball is on the Washington State 46. And it's first down, UCLA. Option Aikman. Gives it to the short man fullback.
The wrong man.
And I know that's not the way that play's supposed to go.
Well, we don't run it that often, so Eswick's, he caught the ball, didn't he? Eswick was the blocker for the tailback, and he just pitched it to the wrong man.
Lucky he didn't surprise him and get the ball dropped.
To his credit, he caught it.
Second down and 8. Across the field. Threw that ball about 40 yards. David Keating couldn't quite reel it in. Third down. And 8 for UCLA. Aikman with a deep drop. Hums it down the middle. Pass is caught by Reggie Moore. Having a big day. First down, Washington State, 26-yard line.
For UCLA, don't panic. It's a critical play. Let's pick up the first down, and Aikman hits Reggie Moore. Moore came into this game with 5 straight games, but he had caught 3 or more passes. Today he's caught 6 for 75.
Ryan Brown is the tailback. It's his series. Got 3 good ones. You've got to give him some playing time. This is Brown breaking it big. Brown is down inside the 15-yard line. It's like the old Red Auerbach theory with the Celtics. It's been said a million times. You got to know how many points it takes to keep them happy.
Terry Donahue was saying about his 3 fine running backs. He says it's like winning $1 million in the lottery. He says that's the good part. The bad part is you have to pay taxes on it.
First down. Bruin trying to take the lead on this possession. We're at the Washington State 15.
Here's your pass distribution. 13 have gone to wide receivers and 7 to the tight end.
Brown's got it. Caught from behind as he tried to go to the outside. Brought down is Dan Grayson on the tackle. He is from Woodland, California. West Virginia beat up Penn State today, 51-30, to remain undefeated. Game was played in Morgantown. Here we're all even at 27. Washington State coming up with 21 points in their third quarter. Now the Bruins are trying to regain the lead. They led at halftime 20-6. Aikman incomplete. Ball intended for Mike Farr. This is the play that produced the tie game. Tim Rosenbaugh to Tim Stallworth. Stallworth breaking completely free as the tackle was missed, and the play was good for 81 yards. The extra point tied it at 27. So it's a bit closer game than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be. That includes me, to be perfectly honest with you. Third down and 8. Aikman, good protection, and the pass incomplete. Arbuckle was out there, but so was somebody else. Who was the other man out there? Was Brown?
Yes. He was going for Arbuckle.
Was he? Because it looked like Arbuckle, didn't he pull away from
That's the problem. Arbuckle just pulled up to the bottom left. The bottom receiver is going to go down and break to the outside. The tight end is going to come down and break out. Now watch him. He's doing it for Arbuckle. Arbuckle just stands there.
He pulled himself away from it, thinking Brown was going to make the catch.
Yeah.
Velasco with a 30-yard field goal try now to give the Bruins the lead. Plenty of leg, and it's good. At 11:39 to go in the ball game, the Bruins are back on top by a score of 30-27 as Velasco hits the 30-yard field goal. All right, the Bruins' Kirk Maggio will kick it off. Deep people for Washington State. Victor Wood 13 and C.J. Davis number 1. UCLA leading 30-27 with 11 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the game. Maggio's had a good day. Kicking off, he's kicked it deep each time and high. And it's Wood at the 2. Out to about the 21. All right, here comes Washington State now, and the crowd trying to get back into the ball game and make a little noise down there as the Cougars will come up. Rosenball has now thrown 20 touchdown passes in the season, and he ties Jack Thompson's record at Washington State. Jack, of course, being the throw-in Samoan.
So look at the distribution and who he's throwing the football to.
Now we're ready to go at the 20. Big series right here, I expect.
Both ways.
Yep, both ways. Swinton. And it's Waller, Jim Waller. He shook off a leg bruise, penetrated, and got a piece of him as he went by.
Waller, number 66, is probably the best defensive lineman in that crew. Was suspended earlier in the year for a game, making some comments about not being too pleased playing nose tackle. And, he came back very strong. He says all the coaches said he's playing very well.
Rosenball runs away from the pressure. Gets his pass off incomplete. Oh, it's a face mask. They missed the holding. So that hurts the UCLA Bruins. Was it inadvertent?
Personal foul against the defense. Strike to the face mask. First down.
Watch the left side of your screen. Number 94 is Lodish.
Yeah, that's right. That's the call right there. Comes the flag right on top of it.
Yep. There's the umpire right at the bottom of your screen.
Jim Mahalchik was the man who was struck. And that carries an automatic first down with it. Moves the ball out to the 36-yard line. And Swinton wiggling around, finding some daylight. And he moved very well, carrying Steve Mayer on his back for the better part of 7 yards. And here's Mike Adamle.
Keith, I suppose this falls into the man bites dog category, but you're looking at referee side judge Matt Gilchrist, and the long touchdown plays to Stallworth. Mack was chasing the play, pulled a thigh muscle. He is out of the game. Fortunately, the Pac-10 has an alternate program. Tom Sismanski has come on to relieve him, but Mack is in pain.
Oh, these things hurt. Swinton again. I don't think he got his first down. He got involved in a Fair-to-Midland collision right about the 45-yard line with Marcus Turner, and they have marked him short of the first down. Swinton now, who gained 193 yards last week against Arizona State, has 81 today on 19 carries.
No short yardage offense here, 3rd and 1. They still got the spread in with only one running back.
There's your first down as Rosenball keeps it and moves it to the 47-yard line. Stanford, Washington. And it might got to be getting late in the 4th quarter now with Indiana leading Iowa by 11. Jim Sweeney, the coach at Fresno State. It was on Hugh Campbell's, on Dennis Erickson's conversation yesterday. He said that Jim Sweeney was one of the more influential people in his life. Rosenball keeps it and picks up 5 yards as he moved across midfield to the UCLA side of the ball. In bringing up the name of Hugh Campbell, reflecting back over some of the people who have played for these respective schools, you know, you go down to UCLA rosters and it's like a who's who in football. But when you start considering some of the people that have come out of Washington State over the years, there have been some great players too. And Hugh Campbell was one of those. There's Swinton searching for some room and gets down inside the 45. Doug Klein.
Carnell Lake. Carnell Lake, 31. The outside linebacker. Wahalczyk is number 74. He buries both guards at the point of attack, forces everything to bounce outside. Lake coming into the season, preseason All-American, the best player on that defensive team. Has tremendous speed.
3rd down and 2. And Swinton gets through, just kind of squirts through there and pops out of the stack and looks to have the first down. You're talking about names from the past, Bob. You go back to 1958 when Washington State last won a football game here. There was a guy named Kilmer playing at UCLA and a guy named Keith Lincoln playing at Washington State. Cougars won that ball game 38-20. We've got a timeout for the injured Cougar, Dave Fakema.
First and 10 Cougars.
So they're being very tender here with Fakema. And that does not look so good, does it? Rosenball back. Wants to go down the middle and nobody there. Now it takes off. And that's a penalty flag. He gets his first down on that when he's hit out of bounds by Carnell Lake.
That's a frustration foul more than anything else. As you take a look at the end of the play, that's just frustration right there. Clearly a foul. You know, we mentioned that the Cougars are the most penalized team in the Pac-10. Well, UCLA is right there with them. They have they're 8th in penalties in the Pac-10. UCLA today has 7 penalties for 80 yards.
The thing that's frustrating when you watch a team in the 7th or 8th week of the season to be making little mistakes like the Cougars were making, procedure calls in the first half, and it hurt them on 2 occasions. Rosenball gives it to Swinton. He's still churning. And on first down from the just inside the 23, he carries the ball down inside the 17.
Last week, UCLA, Troy Donahue, the first time they had been ranked #1 in a long, long time. And I think there's a special kind of pressure that goes with a #1 team. You know, Miami has been ranked #1 for so long, and Oklahoma, they kind of get used to it. But I think you hang that #1 on a new team, I think they get to feel a little bit differently than they do without it.
Yeah, and every guy that comes to town's all jacked up too, isn't he?
Yep.
They go back to Swinton again, and Swinton trying for the first down. He had to get inside the 13. And it appears he's inside the 12. And it is a first down.
Correct myself. I mean, Terry Donahue, not Troy.
Yeah, you get Troy's attention.
Yeah, I'm sure that Terry says that's all right because he'll take that quarterback name anytime.
30-27, UCLA leading by 3, 7:18 to play. Swinton leads again over the left side and gets good help from Maholsky and Husby. And they're down to about the 5. They're chipping off some yardage now on first down runs, Bob. Look at that. There's another. That's 7 yards.
Well, they're doing it with their offensive line, their big offensive line, and they're power running with a one-back set. And as I mentioned earlier, I've never seen a team, Dennis Erickson's team, with a stronger running game from a one-back set.
Swinton has 106 yards now on 24 carries. Rosenball keeps it, pulls it down, and takes off for the corner, and he's down to about the 1. And that'll be, I think, a first down.
Matt Darby makes the tackle.
Matt Darby made that tackle there, but that's the first time today I've called his name. Number 43.
It's a counter play. Both of the linemen go the opposite direction. Now he bootlegs it back. Nobody is open downfield. He just gets as much of it as he can. Now Darby, 43, is going to come in right at the end to make sure he doesn't get into the end zone.
So it is first and goal from the 1, Washington State. Swinton, touchdown. My goodness, they made it look easy. And the Cougars have gone back to the lead.
You're right, they did make it look very easy, and as I mentioned earlier in the ball game, this is only the second time all year, or now the third, that Terry Donahue and the Bruins have been behind.
And here's a very big point right here. If this extra point is successful, it's a 4-point lead rather than 3. 6:21 to play in the game. It's good. So the nation's #1 football team with 6:21 to play is behind 34-30. Well, Dennis Erickson right there could be about to breathe the richest moment of his football coaching career. But this man, Terry Donahue, he watched his Bruins come back against Washington and win it late. And looks like they're going to have to do it if they are to win against Washington State. Not so good. And I thought the Bruin defensive people looked a little weary.
I think that is what's really concerning Terry Donahue, is the fact that his defense has not stopped the Cougars in the second half.
Hansen kicks it off high, hangs up there. And it's Brian Brown. Fumbles the ball. Washington State's got it at the UCLA 37-yard line. Recovered by the kicker, Hansen. And Brown is down and out on the field. Now getting up just ever so slowly.
It's a middle return, and Brown has got some good yardage. Right there, the ball is stripped free. Good tackle.
You know, I think Brian Brown, as I'm watching him, while you watch the replay go off the field, I think he's got a separated shoulder. It looks for all the world like that. And the kicker, Hansen, the freshman from Spokane, comes down and covers the ball. And suddenly, with 6:13 to play in the ball game, there's a dark cloud on UCLA's horizon.
John Diggs, number 22, that hits in there, knocks the ball free. He's got a separated shoulder. He didn't get it on the hit. Maybe he got it on everybody piling on afterwards. I think his pride is hurt more than anything else.
Rosenball, and here we get a penalty flag, and that is either procedure or too much time. It's against Washington State. That is the 5th time in the ball game they've been hit that call. Well, Oregon's close to within 1 of Arizona State, and Southern Cal is leading by 12, but Southern Cal's still got to go to Tempe.
Full start against the offense. Still first down.
Boy, it's a time now to keep your poise. I mean, you got a chance to upset the #1 team in the country. You can't afford to make those kind of mistakes. Right now, the Bruins have really got to dig in. The ball is back near the 42, and the UCLA defense answers with a big play. Paul Carr in at running back, relieving Swinton, and there's no chance. The Bruins came low it in.
Marcus Patton with a big play.
Marcus Patton.
He's about the 5th string outside linebacker. He's an aspiring attorney. He says, when I get out of school, to be a barrister, but outstanding play.
They were trying to give Swinton a little rest there, and it was really expensive, wasn't it? The loss is all the way back from the 37 to the 47 of Washington State. Huge loss. Pass caught by Stallworth. He gets back to the 41 of UCLA. Now time becomes so important. Both teams have all 3 of their times out remaining. But the clock shows now 5:12 and counting.
Stallworth looked like he was hurting a little bit as he comes off the field.
It will be 3rd down and 14 for Washington State. Spend a timeout right here. 3rd and 14, looking for a big play to keep the ball. Here, you've got a 3rd down. That's more than 14. That's more like 16. Maybe even 17. Rosenbaugh gets it off. Down the middle, pass is caught, good for a 1st down. UCLA 25, Victor Wood.
Now to the 25-yard line, good for the
Zone coverage. The UCLA defenders are just going to play an area. He's going to go downfield and circle around. Now, the inside linebacker to the left side of your screen comes up when Rosenbaugh gets out of the pocket to start running. So the flare control was really the quarterback, Rosenbaugh, which opened up the field for the completion.
At the Bruin 25. Swinton is in there at tailback, or the single back. And he's got some room. And he's down close to the 15. Craig Davis, another tackle for UCLA, and the ball is marked at the 16, and the time remaining, 4:05. And the clock running, and Washington State leading 34-30 over the top-ranked team in the country.
And if you just joined us, we mentioned earlier that Washington State is averaging 38 points a game and over 500 yards in total offense.
Fumble, ball rolling around, and finally it is spotted by Swinton, the running back. Ball squirted right through the hands of Rosenbaugh and was rolling around for what seemed like an interminable period of, look at this thing roll around. He didn't see it. And the Bruin does, but he can't get to it. Finally, Swinton spots it.
Donahue's got to be dying a slow death, as does Erickson on the sideline, just watching the ball on the ground.
Bruins now spend a timeout to stop the clock. They've got 2 remaining at 3:25 to play. The football is resting at the UCLA 19-yard line in the possession of Washington State. It is 3rd down and 4, and 34-30, the Cougars lead. Rosenbaugh to the corner of the end zone, incomplete.
Rosenbaugh's pass.
To get Hansen into the ball game, the place kicker. He's kicked a 48-yarder. He's kicked a 51-yarder, and now he's got a chance to make it a 7-point Washington State lead with this effort. And at 3:20 to play, that would force UCLA, if they could score, to go for 2.
A lot more pressure on
36 yards. Missed it. Hooked it left. True freshman out of Spokane, Washington. A 48 and a 51-yarder. Now a 36-yarder to really put the heat on the Bruins. And he missed it.
I think he felt more pressure on that 36-yard field goal than he felt on those longer field goals at the beginning of the ball game.
Don't get all moaning and groaning. As a true freshman, he's going to be 17, 18 years old.
Reminds me of when Donahue and the Bruins were down to Washington in the late in the fourth quarter.
Very much the same.
And Aikman brought him back for a touchdown.
Trojans now moved out to a 20-point lead against Oregon State. All right, here it is from the 20 with Eric Ball back in at the tailback spot. And Aikman back to throw. On first down, goes to the tight end, Randy Austin. And Austin is up near the 30 and could have a first down for the Bruins.
Austin is limping a little bit and is asking to be taken out of the ball game. He's caught 5 for 66.
David Keating comes in as a receiver. Replacing him. Here's where Boys takes over. Senior Boys, perhaps. 3:05, clock running. Aikman back. Steps away from the pressure. Pulls it down and dives across the 35 to get the better part of 6 yards. But it looked like he might get trapped and sacked. He squirmed loose.
What you have is the #1 offense in the Pac-10 against the number 10, the last place defense in the Pac-10.
Better hurry up right here, too, or they're going to get nailed with the clock. Cut it off just in time. Pass is caught across the 40. That'll be a first down. Eric Ball out of the backfield. Went way up to get it. You can really get your bell rung when you're stretched out like that to catch a pass, but got away with it. The clock stops now when you get to 2 minutes in college football. You get inside that, remove the chains, they save the time for you. Aikman across the field, hits his man right on the numbers. Drilled it.
How appropriate, Keith. You've got the man that is a favorite to win the Heisman Trophy, the top award in college football, leading his team down the field to score the winning touchdown.
Just short of the 45 of Washington State. Aikman again, sideline pattern incomplete this time. And it was intended for Mike Farr. So that stops your clock at 2:04. And just short of the Washington State 45, second down, 10. UCLA with 27 first downs in the game. Washington State, 26. Right now, the Cougars are leading 34-30.
Aikman doesn't like the shotgun, one of the few times he's been in it this year.
Intercepted. Yes, intercepted by Artie Holmes. That time the defender went down on the grass and scooped it up. Intended for Mike Farr.
That was picked up by number 19, Artie Holmes.
Take a look from the end zone. The problem with the shotgun, you have to look down to get the ball and then come back up. Top of your screen, the middle, Artie Holmes. Number 19 reads his eyes and comes and makes the interception.
And Washington State, with 1 minute and 59 seconds to play in the ball game, owns it just beyond their own 37-yard line. An incredible upset potential at hand. There's a penalty against the Cougars. Six times today hit with that penalty. 6 times.
Here's the interception. He was trying to get the man in the middle of the field. Now watch Holmes, this right here. He's going to drop back and then come up and make the interception. He doesn't like the shotgun because he has to look down to catch the football. You lose sight sometimes of where the defense is. And a little frustration right here at the end by Minifield.
Got away with it.
Well, the Bruins need a turnover, and they've not been good at turnovers this year.
1:59 to play. 1st and 15, Washington State. This is not your typical ball control offense. Rich Swinton, who's had a good day, a big day, tough day running for Washington State, and may very well have been the surprise of the game, though he just really surfaced last week with his 193 yards against Arizona State. Now the question is, can Washington State control the football on 2nd down and 14? Rosenball rolls it out, goes back the other way, now gets a little help up the middle, almost dropped the football, and gets back to about the 39-yard line.
Doug Klein and Steve.
Here is the 81-yard touchdown play. Rosenball to Stallworth that resulted in a 27-27 tie as Washington State scored 21 points in the 3rd quarter. UCLA led in the ball game at halftime, 20-6. And this is the touchdown here that put Washington State in front. Rich Swinton off the right side, and that gave the Cougars the lead. So with 1:44 remaining in the ball game, the top-ranked team in the country is trailing by 4 points. And 3rd down and 9 coming up for Washington State. Now 5 seconds so our stations can identify themselves.
Well, we're picked up 5 yards in the last play.
The entire UCLA team on their side talking about their dire circumstances. The entire Washington State team on their side talking about what a glorious opportunity they have immediately in front of them if they can do something here on 3rd down and 9.
What they're talking about is that they're getting a good play, but they're also saying don't fumble the ball, don't turn it over. At worst, we want to punt it away and force UCLA to go the entire length of the field with probably less than a minute and a half to play.
With Swinton in motion, they've got 4 wideouts, and Rosenball takes off. And I think there they were conceding rather than take any kind of risk. They will punt the ball away, and there's another Cougar getting up, hobbling off the field. Number 68. That's Chris Dyko, the offensive right tackle.
UCLA leads the conference in punt returns, and Washington State is the worst team in covering punts.
Darrell Henley.
Could it be?
Yeah, they got 10 Bruins up. And Henley ever so dangerous, back deep. 1 minute. They're letting the clock run. They'll take the 5-yard penalty. Myers, the Washington State punter today, 32, 30, 33. He had one big one. His 3rd punt of the day was a 55-yarder.
Good ball. The rule of the game against the offense. Still 4th down.
So now Darrell Henley moves up across the 30. He accepts the punt.
Decision here, do you try and block it?
Well, the Bruins change their mind.
Return it.
Appeal a couple of guys back to help. And the kick, not very long. Enda's going to take a shot at it. Has a hole. One man. And they get him. He had one guy to get, and he couldn't get past him. Chris Moton finally pulls him down, and UCLA with 44 seconds owns the football at the Washington State 44.
Look to your left for blue shirts to try and form a wall. A lot of blue jerseys there. Right there, a nice block.
Right there was the man that forced him to turn back inside, and that was the difference. 31-yard return. All right, 44 seconds. UCLA has one timeout remaining. Troy Aikman steps up. They have no timeouts remaining. The scoreboard shows it, but that's wrong. Aikman down the middle. Arbuckle! The 10, the 6-yard line. The clock stops with 36 seconds to play in the ball game. Charles Arbuckle. A 33-yard gain. Aikman throws it in the ground to kill the clock at 32 seconds. So they obviously don't have a timeout remaining. Dave Burnson right again.
This is the play previous. Arbuckle just going across your screen. Aikman does a nice job of looking to his right, keeping the safety out of the middle of the field. 29 is Todd, a corner, gets back in time to help pull Arbuckle to the ground. You want dramatics, how much better can you get? The Heisman Trophy leading candidate bringing his team down.
Trying to stay undefeated. Notre Dame won their game today, 22-7 at Navy. They didn't exactly blow the middies away. UCLA right now fighting for its life.
Well, we've had 64 points scored, and we have two outstanding quarterbacks. That's not been a surprise to me.
Aikman sets him up. Officials stop it for a moment. Clock should not have started.
There are 32 seconds
right.
remaining in the game.
32
Clock will be adjusted. 32 seconds.
You'd think they were playing in Eugene or in Pullman rather than Pasadena.
Why in the world would they run the clock? The home team has the ball, guys.
Yeah, we're the home team. Give us a break.
That's right.
A new clock operator next week.
They're entitled to 32 seconds.
Well, what's key here is...
That's Boyce again, right?
Yeah, no question. He knew exactly what was going on. He is aware of everything. The thing he knows now, I've got 3 plays to get it in. First of all, I can't turn it over. Secondly, I don't have to throw it into the end zone here. I can throw it short if I have to.
From the 6, second down and goal. Incomplete. The pass intended for Arbuckle, and Artie Holmes, who had the big interception for Washington State, was right there to slap it loose.
Now this changes a little bit. You're on 3rd down, and you almost have to throw it into the end zone, because if you throw it short and don't get out of bounds, the clock will continue to run. It'll be a hurry-up situation on 4th down, so you better throw it into the end zone on these 2 plays.
They got 30 seconds and 2 more plays. Field goal is useless. It's 34-30. Washington State leads.
Got to get him outside the pocket. Roll him out to the right.
Pressure, gets it off into the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Maury Toy out of the backfield, the fullback Ron Lee, but Aikman was just splattered after he released the ball.
He never sees the man coming from his right side, and he just does get rid of the football.
Bob O'Neill, 41. Here it is, 4th down and goal at the Washington State 6. 4th down. Incomplete in the end zone. Incomplete, intended for David Keating, and Vernon Todd slapped it away and almost intercepted it. And Washington State takes over at their own 6 with 20 seconds to play in the ball game and leading 34-30.
Take another look. They were trying to get a pick. The two outside guys come in. The inside guy goes out. 29 is Todd. Does a nice job of finding his way through the traffic. Read the play the entire way and gets out there and breaks it up. Had no chance. He wasn't even close to being open.
And so now all the Cougars have to do is snap it one time. And this game will go down as one of the most stunning upsets of this football season. UCLA cannot stop the clock. Washington State has not won against the Bruins in Southern California since 1958. But today, they have. Washington State defeats #1 UCLA 34-30. The most valuable players in the ball game today. For UCLA, Troy Aikman, 27 of 44, 325 yards. Tim Stallworth, 7 catches for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 first downs, and one of those touchdowns, 81 yards, a play that Stallworth really truly made himself. For Dennis Erickson, one of the biggest wins of his young coaching life, and he is now with Mike Adamle.
Keith, I don't think it's one of the biggest wins. I think it is the biggest win of your coaching career. Has to be, Coach.
Well, no question about it. It's amazing. We came out in that second half, and they scored first, and then our guy just came back. And after that loss last week to Arizona State, I just can't say enough about that football team. It's unbelievable.
You're down 20-6 at halftime. What do you tell your kids? And it was obvious that the defense was on the field far too long.
Well, they hit us with some double eagle blitzes that we weren't quite ready for, and so we made some adjustments and got some big plays off of it. And our defense came out and got the ball back, and we played offensively like we were capable of, and it's the biggest win I've ever been involved in my life.
You were saying when you were a little kid, you were watching game films at the age of 7 instead of cartoons. I guess, Pinky, your dad has a lot to do with that.
Your dad.
Well, it was fast break football on turf today.
Today belongs to the Washington State Cougars. Dennis, congratulations. Enjoy it. Keith?
The old bell will ring in Bryan Hall all night long, I would think. 51,970 watched it. And this was the final gasp for victory for UCLA. And it really never had a chance of succeeding. And so you have watched one of the big upsets of this season. Final score, Washington State Cougars 34, UCLA Bruins 30.